says aliens aren't real? Certainly not humans throughout history. While extraterrestrial life in outer space sounds like a fairly new age concept, it seems that people long ago were already speculating in the existence of creatures and a world hidden past the sky. 18 times history referenced aliens. 18. The Nazca Lines. You've probably heard the theory that due to their intricate and massive designs, ancient peoples could not have possibly made the Nazca Lines themselves and that they must have been the work of aliens. However, a different theory suggests that the Nazca Lines, located in the desert of Peru, were made not by aliens, but to attract aliens. On this arid plateau, you'll find 50 miles worth of enormous geoglyphs, all in the shapes of things like animals, to the shape known as the Nazca astronaut, considered a reference to human space travel or alien-like beings from space. You can only make out the entire shape of a geoglyph from all the way up high, leading many to think they must have been created this way so that extraterrestrials in the sky could see them. 17. Religious texts and flying objects. Those who like to believe in ancient aliens point out the number of religious texts that reference flying objects that people thousands of years ago could not possibly have made themselves. One such instance includes the Shakuna Vimana, an illustration found in the Sanskrit text that translates to the science of aeronautics. These texts date back to the early 20th century, but references the term Vimana, which describes the mythical flying objects that Sanskrit epics, which date back to over 5,000 years ago, describe. According to the older texts, Vimanas were metal crafts that could move through the sky and be at two places at once, projecting beams of light that could consume whatever it shone on. 16. The alien computer. The Antikythera mechanism was found in the waters near the Greek island of Antikythera near an old sunken ship. That was back in 1901, and for decades, scientists could not figure out what ancient Greeks would have used this contraption for. Found beneath 148 feet or 45 meters of water, it sat beside artifacts such as pottery, marble statues, and jewelry. Now said to be an orrery that predicts astronomical positions, like an ancient computer, many believe that it may not have been made by humans, but is an old computer developed from alien technology. 15. The TIKAL astronaut. Discovered amongst the Mayan ruins of TIKAL was what many call the TIKAL astronaut, a carving that appears to be an old rendition of a modern-day astronaut. It even looks complete with a space helmet and a mouthpiece. TIKAL counts as one of the oldest parts of Guatemala, considered the metropolis of the Mayan Empire. The resemblance to an astronaut was so uncanny that many could not provide a different explanation. Could this be some sort of proof that the Mayans were knowledgeable of space travel by humans, or that aliens somehow came down from outer space to visit us? 14. The creation of Stonehenge. Perhaps the most famous theories of alien existence would be Stonehenge, the set of huge stones arranged in a circle that you can find in the fields of Wiltshire, England. Like the Nazca Lines, modern-day society could not fathom how old civilizations had the technology to create something like Stonehenge. In this case, to raise stones this big without more advanced tools would not have been available back during 3000 to 2000 BC. One stone in this circle can weigh as heavy as 50 tons. Another theory states that Stonehenge served as a landing pad for alien spacecraft. 13. The destruction of Pumapunku. In Inca culture, the site of Pumapunku served as the location of the beginning of creation. Nowadays, all this site in western Bolivia has to show for it are loads of destroyed stone structures in the temple complex. The Pumapunku temple spans about 549.1 feet or 167.36 meters by north to south. Consisting of earth and rocks, archaeologists know that the Aymara people constructed these things, though no one can discern why or how. Many of the stones weigh hundreds of tons, yet the closest quarry can be found over 10 miles away. The area was found in ruins, leading many to believe that only alien devices could destroy a place made with such huge materials. 12. Aliens and old paintings. The idea of anything supernatural or fantastical has been around for a long time and found in every culture. Lots of old artworks have been put forth as references to aliens. Perhaps it may not be proof, but at the very least, it does suggest that extraterrestrial life was theorized for a really long time. In this painting called Saint Wolfgang and the Devil, it depicts the Bavarian bishop Wolfgang of Regensburg and the devil, who appears to be a green demonic thing that resembles what aliens would have looked like in modern images. German Renaissance painter Michael Pascher created this piece in the 15th century, with conspiracy theorists saying that the devil may actually be an alien. 11. The Moai of Easter Island. Although one of the most recognizable statues in the world, most of us know very little about the history behind the Moai stone figures located on Easter Island. The Rapa Nui people carved these figures somewhere around 1250 to 1500 AD. Most of the heads measure about 3/8 the size of the entire statue, a size that makes many think they may be illustrating aliens instead of people. No one knows the reason the Rapa Nui peoples crafted these figures from the soft volcanic tuft on the island. The extinction of the civilization and the mysterious statues do, however, seem to suggest something extraterrestrial or supernatural taking place. The extinction of the civilization and the mysterious statues do, however, seem to suggest something extraterrestrial or supernatural taking place. 10. Biblical alien visits. As we mentioned earlier, ancient and religious texts have referenced things of an extraterrestrial nature. One of the most popular religions in the world, Christianity, is no exception. The Old Testament talks about the instances where God and angels would descend from heaven, said to be somewhere above, to visit Earth. Some say that angels mentioned may very well be aliens. The book of Ezekiel references an object called Ezekiel's wheel, which gets described to sound a lot like a UFO, said to arrive upon a windstorm and be a glowing metal wheel surrounded by fire. 9. The Dendera Light. A complex located in Egypt known as the Dendera Temple houses drawings of what appears to archaeologists to be light bulbs. The temple comes from about 2250 to 1500 BC and includes shrines, a basilica, a sanatorium, a sacred lake, and more. The light bulb-like carving, named the Dendera Light, gave rise to the theory that aliens gave ancient Egyptians electrical lighting technology. On the walls of the temple shows an illustration of a huge object with the shape and structure of a light bulb being carried. A few experts say it merely shows a pillar or a lotus flower with a snake inside of it, but not everyone's convinced. 8. The ancient astronauts of Sego Canyon. Petroglyphs all over the world seem to illustrate figures that look like humans, yet don some sort of strange headgear that resembles a space helmet. One of the most prominent and well-known instances of this include the cave drawings of Sego Canyon in Utah. As seen in these petroglyphs are figures that wear what appear to be helmets, except with antennae protruding from them. Another set of drawings, created by the Wandjina Aboriginals of Australia, illustrate similar representations. It has been thought that these many drawings prove that extraterrestrials once visited the ancient peoples from all over the world a long time ago. 7. Teotihuacan City. Another ancient structure people claim was raised from its foundations by aliens is the ancient Mesoamerican city of Teotihuacan, located just 25 miles or 40 kilometers away from modern-day Mexico City. This old city once stood as the largest place in the pre-Columbian Americas in the first half of the first millennium AD. The name translates to mean the City of Gods. Experts believe the Zapotec people, the Mixtec, and the Mayans all contributed to the expansion of the city, though the technological development lends to the theory that aliens could have had a hand in helping build it as well. 8. The Piri Reis Map. A world map that was made in 1513 stands today as a remarkable feat for its incredible accuracy, despite the lack of technology people had 6 centuries ago to make it so. The Piri Reis map was made by cartographer and Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis, who compiled enough information to make one of the most accurate old maps in history. Yet some believe it was aliens behind the whole thing. After all, humans definitely lack the access to futuristic machinery that could give them an aerial view of the world. 5. Enoch abducted by aliens. Not every book that claimed to be part of the Bible got to always actually be part of the Bible. Considered one of the many lost books, the Book of Enoch focuses on, well, Enoch, an ancestor of Noah. He's also known as Enoch, the scribe of judgment, and even appears in the Book of Genesis. In the book, he was said to have suddenly be taken away one day, possibly to heaven, as the text mentions he would walk alongside God for 300 years. What does that mean? Well, some say it means Enoch was the victim of an alien abduction. 4. The NAZCA Alien Runway. Back to those mysterious NAZCA lines. So say these geoglyphs were man-made like most historians say they were. Somehow, people have found a way to still make it about aliens. We mentioned the theory that they served as a way for humans to signal extraterrestrial life. A similar theory suggests that they served as a runway for alien spaceships, similar to the landing strips for airplanes. The drawings do sit on incredibly flat land, so who knows? It seems like a perfect place for an alien airport. 3. The alien race at the Temahia Tahua. The island of Nukuhiva in the Pacific Ocean is home to a collection of statues that look nothing like humans. Like, look at these things. There's no two ways about it. That's got to be aliens, right? This island ranks as the largest of the Marquesas Islands in the French Polynesia. The archaeological site of Temahia Tahua serves as the location for the odd stone figures, possibly made about 2,000 years ago during the time of the first settlers. The statues have elongated heads, huge eyes, and small bodies, human-esque yet not so human at the same time. 2. Aliens took Roanoke. Remember the lost colony of Roanoke that you learned about in history class? Yeah, that place just seemingly vanished, leaving no evidence of a battle, struggle, or any casualties from invasion or sickness. Even historians now seem to grasp at straws when it comes to explaining where the English settlement of Roanoke in modern-day North Carolina could have gone. When John White arrived to Roanoke in 1590, the colony disappeared, leaving only the word Croatoan carved on a post and the letters CRO carved on this tree. The mystery, of course, later got associated with extraterrestrial intervention, since no other proof of anything else can be found. 1. Pakal the Great. An Aja was a political title during the pre-Columbian Mayan days, similar to that of a lord. Pakal the Great is one of the most prominent Ajas in Mayan history, who serves as the lord of the city-state of Palenque. He had a reign of 68 years, the longest in the history of the Americas. Mayans basically worship this guy. On his sarcophagus show the illustration of Pakal ascending into the sky while he wears a mask over his face as he rides some sort of device, which kind of looks like a spacecraft. So was Pakal the Great an alien? The Mayans did, after all, consider him a demigod.